Vi has a 70% win rate. As a blind early spot, right? And usually you pick Vi into stuff like Zeri, so the win rate's a bit inflated, but it's also blind picked like this a lot, and you kind of see why it's so strong. I think Vi's just an incredibly well-rounded champion and just makes engages so easily. When we're talking about, ease of execution, I really like it.
Well, for now, Kasing is going to get spotted out on that ward. Just wants his 5 gold. Things that out, but yeah, we don't expect to see much. Like you said, it is very much level 6 comps across the board here. So the expectation is both of our teams are probably just going to play this one a little bit more, more relaxed for these early stages of the game.
I think we could see some setup in the mid lane pre-6, like if a Nautilus hook comes, or just a charm into a VIQ. I might pop a flash, but realistically, is there much setup compared to the disengage of the other side? Not really. Once again, we're seeing Verdant with this disengage composition that wants to scale up, and we're seeing the same thing every single game. I will say a key difference, is Errol's on Cassiopeia. He managed to secure Cassiopeia, and he's just so good at it, right? It's definitely probably, I think you could argue, his best champion. And last game it was banned away, which was the win for NORD, so maybe this is what they need.
Well, we will see, but for now, just both junglers starting up on the top side of the map, which means that we'll be clearing downwards. So maybe a little bit of a scrap could break out in due of that, as WoW is going to make his way up to the top side. Man, honestly, this champion is so weird looking to me. Like, Kasante is no leg day at all. He looks like a Pixar character.
You can't call that out. Come on, man. You never call out a homie like that. Like, it's...
No, he looks like a Pixar character, man. Like, he's all just like big on top. He's like, he looks like Mr.
He is
Incredible.
Massive, though, isn't he?
He does
look
like
Mr. Incredible is a good
like,
one.
No legs,
that's actually
all
good.
upper body.
That's so mean. But no, clearing down to bot side. Actually, Taxa opting to skip some camps, whereas a full clear coming in from Akabane. Something that happened a lot in the Ruddy series was Taxa would simply just full clear down to bot side and then get a kill. And it was just the most bizarre thing, because it's like the most obvious gank, right? He would just full clear down to bot side, end up bot lane, and get a kill or a flash every single time. So, don't know if that was on Ruddy. I think it kind of is when you're dying to full clear ganks. But still, maybe he just finds something bot lane here. I doubt it. The champions don't really allow for that. Ezreal really doesn't do anything. Rakan really doesn't do anything. So, I think what will happen is just end up going back topside again, or maybe look mid. Even then, probably not.
Yeah, probably just going to be a bit of a chill start. I'm going to assume on this one.
For action.
I mean, I want it, but the one thing we can say is these teams will deliver it. At some point, this game, the clown car's going to pull up, you're going to hear the little horn, and then action starts. Like, that's how this series has been the whole time. But I think we are a little bit of a ways away from that. I think, like you said, it is about that level 6. Wow. Losing a trade there for Nilly, but Nilly is a little bit low on the old mana front. As Taxa doing a little bit of scouting. It's been spotted by a ward. As Akabane just going to go for a reset. Not going to hang around.
Akabane not comfortable to get this crab. I think he should have just recalled and gone to the other crab. He's probably going to get a double crab now because he delayed his recall there, but maybe they're going to try and find something. I don't think this will ever work. It looks like Taxa's going to get the upper hand here, where he managed to get 2 crabs, but it's kind of expected since Nilly does have the push topside. WoW is getting so chunked.
He has honestly been getting slammed all 4 games. WoW has not had a good series.
Yeah, unfortunate, because I think these are like our top 2 top laners in the league in terms of like our all-pro votings, and at the very least, WoW was the rookie of the split, but Nilly showing his veterancy and why he's rated as the best top laner in the league. Both sides of every matchup, he's just coming out on top.
Yeah, he really is. I don't know. I feel like WoW's downfall this entire series is, like I said, he's kind of only really wanted to play like his style and not really like team champs. He just wants to bruiser and fighter, and that's kind of it. Yeah, I think he can sing up. Yeah, Nilly out of mana.
The ward is down, but they might flash over. Nilly might feel comfortable here.
They're going to chase up. No. Nilly's very comfortable.
Yeah. Doesn't look like there's going to be anything. They keep having to come topside. Even though WoW got the counter pick, they keep having to come topside to maybe bail him out. It happened last game versus the Kennen, and now he's going to get bailed out and have to TP back top lane again. So Kasing not finding something for this roam, going to fall behind a little bit in XP, but in that river top side, there might be some action there too.
Well, there's a lot of people in the mid lane, but I don't really foresee
there's just nothing
any action here. I feel like Fury definitely doesn't want to fight till 6. He really wants that Spirit Rush to kind of give him a tool to work with. And Nice little, honestly, perfect little dodge there.
Ooh. Nice little bit of spacing.
Very nice.
Side steps. But yeah,
it's just frustrating about Ahri. The Foxfire, it's so hard. It's actually like you have to get the auto attack in to proc electrocute with Foxfire.
Okay.
So like you saw he just landed all 3 charges of the Foxfire, but it doesn't actually proc electrocute. You need the auto attack.
Oh, that's tragic. I guess that makes sense. It doesn't work on the same instance of the same spell, right? That makes a lot of sense.
So you kind of need to weave an auto attack in to get electrocute. So it's actually really awkward to like Foxfire trade as Ahri. You have to either land the Q or land that auto attack. You still do get a lot of burst when you hit land like the charm and the full combo, but
you know, one of the most cursed techs, since we have quite a slow game right now, one of the most cursed techs is there was a master tier Ahri main who made Ahri top lane, and he maxed W and would just walk up to you level 1 W auto you to death, and it hurts so much no one's ever prepared for it. Little tangent.
There's I believe the highest ranked Ahri in the world for a while was a Korean player who played Ahri AD carry, played full AD Ahri bot lane. Like that was the highest ranked Ahri in the world. At one point.
Remember that being a thing, like in season 3 as well.
Oh, it was later than that. I think it was like I want to say season 7. I think was when it was. It was quite a while ago. It was really interesting. I tried it. Yeah, it's not as good as it sounds. Well, no, sorry. He was obviously very good at it. It's not one of those things you can just play and go, oh yeah, this is broken. It was very skill dependent.
Yeah. It does look like Akabane, they're going to manage to secure Dragon for the side of NORD because they just pushed in the mid lane, the bot lane, and Errol is on a reset, right? They're deciding, you know what, we're going to clear up the top side camps, and maybe we could test for this Rift Herald that's coming up in a minute's time. It's 7 minutes in, so maybe we're going to see a shift up towards topside from the supports as they get level 6, maybe on that mid wave, you know, as the tech a lot of people do. But still, maybe a Rift Herald code test, hopefully a big Bloodbath team fight again, because we've been really spoiled for fights this series.
Yeah, we really have. WoW is permanently down farm, like significantly down farm, actually. Look at this lead in the top side. He has got a big wave, so he will pull that back somewhat, but that is still a pretty significant lead at this point.
No, absolutely. And he had counterpick, right? Like, it's not like last game where he was heavily counterpicked. This time he had a choice of champion, and he volunteered to go Cassante, maybe because he thought his team needed another frontline, or maybe just because he wanted to stonewall the lane rather than take a skill matchup. Like, you know, Gangplank has been nerfed, right? Pretty substantially, so maybe the matchup just doesn't work as well into Jax anymore, but it still is pretty decent, you know? So, I honestly think this is just a lack of answers into Jax.
Oh, no.
Akabane? No!
That was just so unlucky. That is so unlucky. They waited for so long for that as well.
Yeah. And you can see, this is just Cly being on the map faster than Kasing, and it keeps happening. Have you noticed? Like, in the earlier games, Cly was topside before Kasing, and Kasing was walking up. Kasing was just walking out of base here, and maybe this is on Akabane for not waiting for Kasing to face check as well. But now Kasing just has to walk back down bot and hopefully find something onto Kevo, but it's very unlikely, because it's an Ezreal.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately not going to happen.
Yeah.
Did see, I believe Fury got a plate in the mid lane. Though, at least they kind of answered out something, but it's not a lot. It's not amazing.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
Did almost get 2 plates. If he got the 2 plates, then it was worth. And it looks like they're just rotating everybody bot side.
Yeah, the desperation for a cross map, but it's just too late, right? This is the kind of cross map you do where, you know, it happens after the enemy take an objective too far forward, and then the enemy can just rotate down and cover. Like, it's just way, way, way too late. A dive can never happen here. Kasing is still level 4, right? And whilst Fury's level 8, and maybe a Charmer into a Vial could do something, it's too difficult, right? It's way too difficult behind enemy lines.
Well, they got 2 towers at a point where there's 2 additional plates that could get taken fairly quickly, so that would somewhat alleviate the Rift Herald pressure. The problem is Herald's not just that 2 plates worth of gold. It can result in more depending on how you use it and, you know, where you use it. So it's a real problem for the side of NORD. They need to be careful on how they now play, because if they go down in a lane, suddenly that could be like 4 plates, 5 plates, and a tower gone. So they need to be very, very careful. But for now, it does look like they are playing fairly respectfully. They are only really stepping up when they feel confident that Taxa's not on their side of the map. Right now, NORD quite happy just to be holding this wave here in the mid side, in the bot side, just chilling out. But it does look like Taxa's actually appeared in mid, so he may just be jumping in onto Fury. I think Fury's ulted. I can't see.
can't tell, but what Taxa was doing there was he was like fogging behind one of the pillars in mid lane on the side and tried to find, it looked like he took a Q in to maybe find an insect, but it just didn't work out. Unfortunately, like Cassiopeia just doesn't have any setup. It's kind of the fate of Taxa at this point to just not do anything early game, because his laners don't really play that much that's proactive, right? At most you get Nidalee playing proactive champions, and the rest of the lanes you just have farm fest. So unfortunately, Taxa is just like, he's forced to play bridge to scaling with these early proactivity champions and just cover counter ganks. Such is the fate.
WoW may be feeling a bit comfortable here. Gets the knockback onto Nidalee, just trading out. I think he was, for a moment there, chilling, as Fury did get another plate in that mid side. So that's, after that Herald, I'm just keeping track, was about 3 plates, but
yeah,
you know, it's somewhat alleviating that pressure, right? It's like a little bit, as the gold is, I'm going to say it finally for the first time this series, the gold is very close. It's pretty much tied dead even, as WoW gets flashed onto by Nidalee. There's the ultimate pop, as he's looking to get out. He's going to try and get the knockback, but he's got everything thrown onto him, but he can't move. He flashes back, but it's not going to be enough. It's too late.
So I think he was out there if he managed to ult Taxa, because when you ulti as Cassante, you are immune to CC, but I'd have to see a replay of that, because he might just been out of range, right? And Lee Sin Kick has a decent amount of range, so I'd have to see that. I think he could have been out there if he ulted Lee Sin backward into tower. I really want to, and unfortunately it starts out a little late. I would have loved to see before that. I think we might get a replay of that, but the thing is, Clyde was on his way again, and you could just see how proactive he is. He's okay with dropping these plates down bot side to get his laners ahead, and Nidalee, he's already on that Divine Sunder. It's pretty rough, and now because of the tempo they've gained on these resets, they're managing to find the turret plate.
Yeah, they're actually throwing everything down. They're going to use the Spirit Rush. They missed the charm. Errol throws out the ultimate, only hanging on to 2 for the moment. They got the Spirit Rush. Here comes Klydo. Can he save the day? The Q out, the dodge back. One more Spirit Rush from Fury. A double kill for Nidalee. And for the first time, Kasing was there at the play before, but it does not result in a win. Such a good petrifying gaze from Errol.
Yeah, and they managed to stall it long enough for Nidalee to come back down from bot side. And like you said, the charm misses, which is really unfortunate. They get 1 pick, but ultimately then they're at a numbers disadvantage, because Jax, Nidalee on this Jax managed to find a window where he pushes in WoW and then moves down. So really good stuff from Nidalee, using his tempo and his window to roam.
I think this is the big thing. Is like, okay, so Clyde wasn't first to the punch that time, but Nidalee was the first to the punch.
Yeah, exactly.
They always have a numbers advantage. It's so hard for NORD to be playing when it just feels like they are, at the moment, more focused on injecting as much gold into their players as they can through plates than these plays, but then at the same time still kind of want to take the plays. So it's like they're trying to have their cake and eat it at the same time.
Yeah, and I think I'm really happy, because this was an issue I saw with Verdant a while back, like before last series, where I felt like their biggest issue was they kept trying to make plays with their playmakers before the rest of the team was ready. Like, I kept making points of how Clyde would engage, or bot lane would make a play, or top lane would make a play, and Errol was coming out of base, so there just was no help, right? And there's always a numbers advantage. But that just feels like it's completely fixed, and now you're going to see it again.
Willight's gone in for the ultimate, trying to keep himself alive, but there it is. Kevo securing an easy kill onto Kasing. It's always the numbers advantage. 4 bot side versus 2. Meanwhile, Akabane, he's a step behind. He's only just got to mid lane. And yeah, there'll be a plate that goes over to Fury here, but like, they're always just a step behind their opponents in this series.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like with this series, what you've got to be asking yourself is, where will NORD come back? You know, it feels like they've always been able to come back through some kind of wacky fight, even if they're behind, right? Because of their insane team fighting. So they're definitely not out of here yet. The game's definitely not over, and I'm sure with their composition, their ability to find picks, they'll find something. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's been the key thing. I think there's a silent amount of gold that's been picked up by Willight. If we could quickly tab over and see his gold, he's probably got a significant amount more than his counterpart. Yeah, because he's getting plates, and they're solo plates. So he's effectively had, I think that was just after kill. So he's probably had about 2.5 to 3 kills worth of gold just through plates. So and like he's actually quite strong.
Yeah, and like you're saying, despite it being 1 to 5, they're kind of even in gold, right? Like, it's a 900 gold lead. It's kind of insignificant. And maybe the gold is on the good people you want it on, like the Jax, but it's really not that bad. If Woolite's in these fights, it's a bit even.
Yeah. It looks like they're actually potentially just quite happy to give up this Rift Herald, although they're rotating over a little bit too late to this. Wow, diving in. Gonna get himself a stun down. They look for the hook in as Woolite is immediately jumped onto. He's bursted. Nothing he can do. Fury lands a charm, but it's going to be just an absolute whitewash of a fight for Verdant. I am surprised NORD took that fight. To be honest, that's going to be my breakdown. Why? Why?
And there's just no fight. There's just no damage, right? They go onto them and WoW tries to perform an insect, but the problem is after he loses all his resistances by entering, he enters the all-out form, and then he just gets one shot because he's so squishy. And after that, there's just no DPS because their composition, like the way they function, is they pick off one target, then wait for their cooldowns, and pick off one target and wait for their cooldowns because they are a pick-based comp. The second they pick a champion, which they did, they tried to pick the Cassiopeia, they're out of damage, right? But the problem is they just kept going, and largely that was on WoW. He tried to find something more than he had.
I think the big thing there was Woolite had no ult. They walked into the fight where there's a lot of CC, and Woolite's just ultless going, yeah, I'll be fine.
Where did he pop it? Was it early on?
He popped it in the bot lane gank.
He does have a long cooldown. Like, Xayah does have a long cooldown on the R, so not surprising. But yeah, why did they take that fight? It looked like WoW just wanted to get something done. You know, he just ran at them with Ghost into 5 people and tried to insect as well as he could. Fortunately, he just gets one shot. And now we're back to a state where it's just 2-9, and now there is a substantial gold lead, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a bit of a pain there for NORD. Now, they do have that ult backup and available, so now would be a better time to take a fight, but there is nothing to fight over, other than this dragon spawning up in a minute's time. So I think it's pretty much just get as much gold together as you can kind of scenario. WoW, again, behind versus Nilly. Nilly is absolutely dominating the top lane right now. And Divine Thunderer, 3-0-3 on the scoreboard. Nearly very, very strong. Akabane, though, doesn't give a damn. He's just walking straight up into the face as the fight for vision is going to break out between these teams.
Yeah. And Errol no TP, he's running down. Crucially, all of them have flashes. Some summoners not up, like WoW's Ghost for this dragon, which is actually really impactful. Ghost is a really good team. Looks like they're going to try and find an engage. If they manage to pop an engage and then like pop one person, they might be all right, but if they don't manage to find that, they have to give it up.
Yeah, it's a rough time for the Herald to come out as well. Just gets the charge. It should just be the tower to follow it up, but they're going to throw everything onto Kevo to lock him in place. In they jump. Featherstorm's used already. Low HP on Nilly, but he's able to survive, so nobody gets the shutdown. And this is a fight for the Cassiopeia likes. 2 kills picked up for Errol. And NORD just left scratching their heads after the fight is done.
And there's just no damage. Kasing tries to use the Nautilus ultimate to buy time by ulting the Ezreal to stop him auto-attacking like this, to zone him off. Unfortunately, they try to burst everyone down, and by this point, Nilly is just too tanky with his innate gold, all the lead he's developed on his own, and they just can't burst. And the second you cannot burst a target, that's the second your team comp falls apart.
Yeah, it does feel like NORD's starting to crumble a little bit here as Verdant were able to secure themselves their second dragon of this game. And you got 0-4 Vi, 0-2 Cassante. You got an Ahri, but I mean, this is Leandri's Ahri. So, I mean, it's not even the Ludens for kind of the magic pen and the burst you get from that. Instead, going for more kind of like sustained DPS and, you know, more for the cooldowns as well on the ability haste you get off the back of it. But that is coming at a pretty heavy price.
Yeah. Really rough stuff. I mean, they've got to try and find a pick in the side lane, potentially. You can't kill Nilly at this point. He's way too strong. He's got 2 items. Now, maybe if you find Errol in the side lane, because he is still kind of a squishy mage, he does have that Seraph Shield. If you do find him with your point and click and you bring 3 people, maybe then you can find a pick. It's just all about those shutdowns and getting them back.
Well, looks like pings are coming in as Taxa maybe looking for a play onto WoW.
Oh, this is the story of the series, isn't it? Just punishing and bullying WoW.
Did WoW see him? I don't know if he did.
I don't think he did.
No.
He didn't. Oh, not going to opt for it. Going to back off. Take these golems and say, you know what, we can't dive a full tank. Even if he does have full armor. They're just going to back off. Shadowing Errol.
Yeah, well, kind of being okay just off the bat foot. He is still pretty tanky at this point in the game, but I think for now, we're probably going to see NORD try and slow this game down because it is 2-11.
Yeah.
It's only a 4k gold lead off that lead. But Cassante, well, might be in trouble here. He's going to try and clear through this wave as quick as possible. Should be able to do so, but needs to be very careful as Kevo gets some damage off. Blast cones away to safely, and they're just going to jump the wall. There's no way they're under any threat.
Oh, the poke coming in from Kevo. Every single ultimate hits 3 people. I am telling you, this man on Ezreal. And it makes it so hard to engage it. Say that.
They're jumping in. They're going to throw everything down. Woolite has to use his
damage.
ultimate early. He's been caught. The damage is gone. Clyde's low HP, but he's able to hook away. And there it is. It's done. Great feather pullback will save the day. Now it's a matter of just disengaging. They flash out. They lose WoW, and they just can't kill a soul. That was a 0 item. Support they threw everything onto, and he didn't die.
You can see how this starts off. They managed to find the surprise engage. It's all about surprise, right? But they couldn't chain. They couldn't manage to chain the charm onto it. I believe the hook hooked them out of the charm again. It's weird how that's happened twice. WoW tries to dive after it. I think we're probably going to go into a Baron. Verdant secured Baron now off of that. Imagine, this game might not last too much longer.
Oh, this is so rough here for NORD. But their failure to adapt, their failure to they stubbornly stuck to their guns. And unfortunately for them, it's biting them in the back. Well, Verdant, they came prepared to the series. They have honestly just looked so good all day.
Yeah.
And, they've been very willing to adapt and change their plans and have, various other things prepared. But it feels like NORD just stubbornly have wanted to play the one thing they want to do. And then it just hasn't worked.
And I think it's a fine meta read. I absolutely do. But I feel like you have to take away the picks that counter you and that one identity you seem to have, right? You're all in pick engage, like you dive in backline. You ban away the picks that stop that happening, like your Cassiopeia, just what you did in the last draft. But for some reason, you just decided not to this game. Another ulti coming in for Kevo, and there's just nothing they can do. They have no wave clear either. Their whole composition was about getting as early combos as possible, getting picks in the mid lane with the Nautilus art, layering that CC and bursting down one target. And now they're just suffocating. They're absolutely suffocating because they can't clear these waves. They have no range.
And Fury's taking a tier 2. Yes, that's a nice injection of cash for the team, but this is going to come at the cost of maybe 2 inhibitor towers and maybe even an inhibitor. Woolite is heavily poked out already, so he needs to look to try and reset and heal. And this is definitely going to be this tower going down. Nilly going to work this wave in here, and maybe they're going to look to try and jump in onto him. But
no, he's too
they're
tanky.
not even going to go for it. The cannon should finish up this tower, and now Verdant is an open inhibitor for them to take. Woolite has healed back up, and I feel like it's now or never. If NORD want to fake this win, they're going to take the fight now. They hit onto Clyde, not the best target. He does get a knock-off in response to Kasing. There isn't really going to be too much follow-up. True Shot Barrage this time finally misses. As WoW tries to get the knockback, but he's unable to do so. They're desperately trying to clear through this wave.
4 stopwatches out for Verdant. No flash for Kevo, crucially, but flash for Cassiopeia. If NORD want to find an engage, that has to be onto Ezreal.
Oh, they find the kill onto Clyde. Gold goes onto Kasing. Maybe a little bit unfortunate for them. And it looks like NORD are just going to disengage there. But you happy with that one kill? They got Dragon and Freeze in 2 seconds, and with the support dead, this is their only opportunity to really push the pressure here. Actually take this as Akabane charges the Q up. He's trying to get line of sight onto the right target. He's looking for the person to ult. Gets himself the blaster vision. Jumps over the wall. NORD are actually just going to go for the dragon.
He's still got ultimate. Big ult diff right here. Unfortunately, Kasing does not have his ultimate, so there's not much to chain. But Fury on this flank.
Coming in, looks for the charm, jumps straight in with the Spirit Rush, gets caught instantly and has to go down. Nilly's going to finish him up. WoW is dealing with Errol, but he can't actually do anything about it. What the hell was Fury doing? He just ulted into a counter-striking Jax.
I think what they were trying to do was trying to layer their CC and do what they had to do the entire game long, but unfortunately, the charm just goes wide and he engages onto a Jax, like you said, and it just wasn't the right target. They were trying to ult onto the Kevo. It doesn't work out, and now I think Verdant are going to take the game.
They got 15 seconds. It's going to be a hard ask for NORD to defend this. As Kasing's up, the tower's going down. Kasing's going to join up, but that is going to be it. There is no hope for them to ever win this one. Nexus will fall with a glory kill on the back of it. And NORD, they look lost. They look